Top 10 Unexpected Deadly Animal Attacks. Numerous creatures can be extraordinary allies to people, however, sometimes, they can likewise be executioners. A few groups on this rundown knew the dangers when they chose to invest energy in wild places. Others were astounded by peril where they least anticipated, as on a bright getaway or their own overhang. A couple of them were even specialists who committed their whole lives to creatures. In any case, every one of them confronted dangerous outcomes when these specific animals turned violent. Top 10 Unusual Ways People Have Survived Bear Attacks 102010 Egyptian Shark Attacks. Sharm el-Sheikh is a coastline city in Egypt and a center point for the country's travel industry. Be that as it may, their amicable standing was perpetually scarred in 2010 when there was a binge of 5 shark assaults. On December 1, a shark assaulted 48-year-old Olga Martinenko, seriously harming her spine and appendages. Spectators hauled her to well-being. Minutes after the fact, 70-year-old Lyudmila Stolyarova lost her foot and arm. Witnesses had the option to beat the shark away from her with elastic blades. At that point, 54-year-old Yevgeny Trishkin was assaulted and lost a piece of his leg. 46-year-old Viktor Koly was the last survivor of the frenzy, additionally losing in progress. The 4 casualties were all Russian and Ukrainian sightseers. The seashores were quickly shut and the public authority brought in specialists to examine. A 7.5-foot white-tip shark and an 8-foot mako shark were gotten and the seashore was returned on December 4. Be that as it may, the following day, a 71-year-old German lady was assaulted. Her arm was gnawed off and she kicked the bucket before long. Specialists conjectured that overfishing might have changed shark conduct around there. Scuba jumping organizations were additionally blamed for taking care of sharks to draw in them for sightseers. It is likewise conceivable that grizzly sheep remains might have attracted the sharks to shore when they were unloaded off close by boats during the occasion of Eid al-Adha. 9 Horatio Chapel polar bear attack. In the late spring of 2011, a gathering of understudies went on an undertaking campaign with the British Schools Exploring Society. The arrangement was for 80 individuals to go through a month in the Svalbard Islands, somewhere between the Bank of Norway and the North Pole. Be that as it may, under about 14 days into the outing, the group was enjoying nature for the night when they were assaulted by a destitute polar bear. 17-year-old Horatio Chapel was executed. One of his companions would later need a medical procedure to eliminate the bear's teeth from his scalp after he punched it in the nose. Another kid's jaw was crushed. The bear was shot by an undertaking chief who was likewise genuinely harmed. The injured colleagues were traveled to Terrain, Norway, and the endeavor was finished right away. Chappell was an alum of the elite English Life Experience School at Eton College, and he was a hopeful specialist who wanted to chip away at a diabetes solution. The Endeavour Group was reprimanded for their arranging of the outing. There was no gatekeeper the evening of the assault, and the crisis firearm didn't fire for 4 endeavors because the well-being was left on. Explosives were set up around the camp to stop polar bears, yet they didn't go off, perhaps because they were inappropriately set up. Norwegian authorities decided in 2012 that the occurrence might have been halted if the group had stayed in bed lodges rather than tents, yet the association responsible for the outing was not arraigned for the demise. 8 Alan Campbell elephant attack. Alan Campbell was an accomplished animal handler who counseled on elephant rides the nation over. He was portrayed as a diligent employee by his associates, and his most prominent dream was to prepare carnival elephants. He rolled out sure improvements to the elephant program in Baton Rouge by demanding that the creatures were taken care of consistently and their confines cleaned double a day, yet he was subsequently terminated from an alternate zoo after charges that he had manhandled creatures. In August of 1994, Campbell was working at a bazaar show in Honolulu, Hawaii with an elephant named Tyke. The child was a female elephant from Mozambique that had recently been manhandled by her mentors. She had gotten away from twice in 1993 and gone on frenzies, yet had been re-caught them multiple times. At this show in Hawaii, Tyke assaulted custodian Dallas Beckwith before a huge number of onlookers, tossing him a few times. Campbell raced to help, however, was thumped under her trunk and squashed to death. Kid at that point ran out of the middle and seriously harmed carnival marketing expert Steve Hirano, who attempted to hold the doors shut. Following a half-hour pursuit through the roads, cops shot Tyke multiple times and killed her. The case was muddled when 37-year-old Campbell was found to have liquor and cocaine in his framework during his examination. In the wake of this occurrence, the LA Times announced that elephant dealing with was the riskiest occupation in the United States. 7. Richard Root crocodile attack. Dr. Richard Root was a school teacher, head of medication at Harborview Medical Center, and a public irresistible sickness master. He left his work incidentally to really focus on his debilitated spouse and spiraled into gloom when she died. Yet, a couple of years after the fact, he met his subsequent spouse and reappeared the clinical field with new energy. Root and his new lady of the hour were welcomed to a 2-month clinical program in Botswana run by the University of Pennsylvania. Large numbers of the patients there were tainted with HIV, and Root was apparently excited with his new position treating them. The couple chose to go on a kayak visit through the Limpopo River in the Tule Nature Reserve to notice nearby untamed life. They were each in singular kayaks with 2 aides following them when a crocodile hopped up and maneuvered Root into the water. He won't ever re-emerge. His better half and the aides saw the assault. Nearby specialists told the clinical program chief that there had never been a crocodile assault in that waterway previously and that they had really been stressed over hippopotamuses. Root's waterway management was apparently damaged by the occurrence. The specialist assisted with motivating numerous clinical understudies and had been cast a ballot Teacher of the Year of Yale Medical School in 1982. 6. Cali River Goonch attacks. Getting a monster Goonch catfish, river monsters. Goonch catfish are no standard waterway inhabitants. They can develop to more than 6 feet in length and 200 pounds. By and large, Goonch feed on more modest fish. However, in the Great Cali River, they may have built up another eating regimen. This waterway among India and Nepal is regularly used to discard human remaining parts after incineration, and some accept this may have permitted these catfish to build up a preference for human substance. In April of 1998, 17-year-old Dil Bahadur was hauled submerged before his better half. A quarter of a year later, another kid was maneuvered into the waterway before his dad. In 2007, an 18-year-old kid vanished into the water. None of their bodies were at any point found. During the last assault, witnesses saw a creature that they portrayed as a prolonged pig. British scholar and angler Jeremy Wade explored the cases for his network show River Monsters. He was at first wary that Goonch catfish had been included, however after hearing that every one of the assaults happened inside 5 miles he got charmed. Speculations of whirlpools, crocodiles, and bull sharks were all disproven. Swim set up a memorial service fire as a snare and got a 161-pound Goonch. He said of the fish, "If that got hold of you, there would be no moving ceaselessly." It was not demonstrated whether the Goonch that he got was the one that submitted the assaults. However, the examination demonstrated that human-sized fish were available in the waterway. 5. Tricia Wyman wolf attack. 24-year-old Patricia Wyman was employed as a wolf overseer and teacher at the Halliburton Forest Wildlife Reserve in Ontario, Canada in 1996. Wyman was an untamed life researcher who had invested energy at the hold previously and started her work on April 14. The hold's Wolf Center display comprised of 15 sections of the land of woods home to North American wolves that were brought into the world in imprisonment yet not associated with people. Wyman had gone inside the timberland once with her manager and once alone to take care of the wolves. On April 18, she entered the fenced-in area alone and 5 grown-up wolves assaulted her. 2 different representatives discovered her body soon thereafter and called the specialists. 2 cops entered the walled-in area and the wolves acted forcefully, snarling and surrounding them. 6 officials were expected to eliminate Wyman's body, which had various chomps and tears wounds. Her garments had likewise been taken out by the creatures. The 5 wolves associated with the assault were slaughtered to be tried for rabies. Wyman was distant from everyone else when she was assaulted, so the specific conditions of her passing won't ever be known. In any case, wolf master Dr. Eric Klinghammer accepted that Wyman entered the region to acclimate herself with the wolves, expecting they would stay away as they had before. She may have then stumbled over the branches on the ground and the wolves assaulted her when she seemed powerless. Deadly wolf assaults on people remain amazingly uncommon in present-day North America. 4. Surinder Singh Bawa monkey attack. Surinder Singh Bawa was an Indian lawmaker who turned into the deputy mayor of Delhi. On October 20, 2007, he was remaining on the gallery of his home when he was assaulted by a gathering of rhesus macaques. These little monkeys live all over Asia and by and large gauge of 5 to 8 pounds. Bawa tumbled from the overhang while attempting to fend them off and passed on from head wounds a day later. Monkey packs are a preceding issue in Indian urban areas. Monkey catchers have been utilized to decrease their numbers, just as coaches who utilize bigger monkeys to threaten the macaques. Metropolitan Extension has demolished the issues. Macaques specifically frequently take food out of individuals' hands, take frills off their bodies, and even break into vehicles. The Hindu religion disallows slaughtering of the creatures and numerous Hindus feed them. Gnawing is a typical issue, just as infection, as near